Now let's go for another option in Navisworks that if I'm going to tell it to you, I can say it is Switchback. Okay, so to explain the option of Switchback to you a little more easy and better, I start with a simple sample. So at first let me create a new folder in the name of, for example, Switchback, and let's go to batch files, and then let me copy NWC and Revit files, and after let me go in Switchback and paste it actually in this folder. So after let me close the files, and then let me name it, or name them R01 and R02. Okay, so after that let me go in Revit and then open the files of 01 like this, and 02. And again, after doing these actions, I will export exactly on their files like this. So let me actually do it. Of course, I think it was 02. So let me export it, and 02. And this is actually 01. Export, and let me just go on 01. Now let me go back again. Let me go back in Navisworks, and then here let me open the structural file like this, and then let me append architectural file. Okay, so actually the option of Switchback that you can see it here gives you this ability to return the file to the main software that you've got some imported from that file again, and do some changes exactly in that software. Okay, and actually if it has a kind of problem, you can just remove the problem and then do some changes on it, and you can export it again into Navisworks. Yes, as an example, let me explain here just about the Revit file. Imagine that you want to find a problem in your model. Let me, for example, look for it to find it. As an example, like here, that you see two beams are exactly on each other. So let me have a clash here, and after I'll go on add test, and let me name it as beams, and actually beams again. And after that here, let me choose all of the beams, and then after it let me go in the window of clash actually, and here hard, and then I will click on run. So as you can see, we can see there that we found two kinds of problems in this model. So if you want to, for example, stay in clash window and you want to switch them back, you can use here actually, or even you can, for example, click on the subject that you have in your model, and let me a little maximize it to see it better, like this. So here, as you can see, I can highlight all clashes so they can see the things I'm going to change better. So actually I can click on it and choose it, and then after I can come here, or even I can just have a right click on the object that I have in my model and switch it back. Or even in this window, I can just come here and close them, as you can see, and by this I can switch it back. For example, for model A or model B. So before you want to switch back, just as you can see, it gives me an error. You have to do some activities. So the first thing you have to do is save your file next to exactly that file, and after that you have to go here in options and then tools. You have to go in model and performance. And then please enable this icon, close NWC or NWD files and load. It means that The time that you're going to rewrite, for example, the new file and the last file, you don't need to close the software, and it is rewritten exactly on the last file that you had into your savings. So the next step, because you're working in Revit, you have to go in Revit and then you go in a structural file, because we're talking about that. And then let's go in add-in, and let's go on the list of external tools and open it. And then choose the option Navisworks Switchback 2022. So now let me go back again to Navisworks and let me go on selection 1 or even selection 2. Or even I kind of right click on the subject and I can have Switchback. So as you can see, it was returned into Revit. And if you see here, in 3D views, you see a new tab in the name of Navisworks Switchback. So it will show us the chosen object that if, of course, it is chosen to us. And actually, we can modify them if we want. It means that we can just, for example, select on this icon subject. And after that, I just set it on fixed number, as you can see here. But actually, we don't have any kind of interferences here in our model. So let me save it, then close this one, and after it this one, and again I will export it exactly on the same file as if I just see here it's R02. Just assure yourself that in Navisworks settings and performance you've enabled this option, I mean close the NWC files and load. So let me save it, and after it you can go back again into Navisworks. And then the whole thing you have to do is just click on refresh, and as you can see, it's been updated here. Okay, and as you can see here, it's been written old, and if you have updated here, these parts have got resolved. Yes, like this. So the automatically this clash was got fixed because both of them have got allocated onto each other. So this was the optionality about Switchback. So let me tell you this point, that as an example, you can go in Revit, structure software, and then in, for example, architectural file. Or no, the same work like structural. Let me just, for example, as an example, you want to edit the height of structure. For example, let me just set it on 4 meters. You know, here you don't have the ability and option for Switchback because you're just doing this change exactly in all of the project. So now after exporting, it will be updated, all. And then here in Navisworks, we can have F5 or just refresh it. Like this, actually. So this was about Switchback with Revit.